Hey there, bookkeeping side hustle community. It's Kate. It is great to see all y'all. I am filming from my parents' house in Deep South Texas, where I'm spending the summer, and I am so glad to be putting on this webinar, whatever we want to call it. This is going to be a webinar about how you, as a new bookkeeper or an old bookkeeper who's maybe encountering a problem, can get the technical help that you need. We have 4 great panelists who provide technical help. They're all like very, very good at bookkeeping and doing accounting for small businesses. We have a wide variety of kind of services offered, but at the end of the day, they know they have the technical chops inside bookkeeping software, and they sell it to bookkeepers and accountants. So we're going to hear from them, but it's going to be a general conversation. We're going to figure out how to pick a mentor, how to best work with the mentor, different styles of mentoring. And the goal of this interview, the ultimate goal, is to get you to click the Google Sheet that's in the description, which has a list of names of more than just these 4 guests that we have today. They all are going to recommend some other people that they know who do the same thing. So I think at the end of this interview, you will have access to find someone that you can help you. So that's the goal of this interview. I want people to be really, really good technical bookkeepers so we can help the small business clients that we have. So I'm going to ask our guests to introduce themselves. Let's start with Becky. I'm just going to go around the circle here. Just tell us your name, your business, and the type of mentoring that you provide.
So, hi, I'm Becky Frampton. I am the owner and founder of Pachira Business Solutions, and we provide literally everything, all of the different mentoring from start to finish before you have clients to the point where you're looking to sell your business. We have technical help along with all of the other things that come with being a bookkeeping business owner.
Fantastic. Joanna, you're up. Oh, you're on mute.
I totally am. Hi, my name is Joanna. I just started this brand called Bookkeeping Helpline to advertise precisely this service. And what type of mentoring do I provide? Technical, issues with QuickBooks. QuickBooks Online is my strongest one, but I do work with other softwares and POS. And also for the same thing that Becky mentioned, if you want to just flush out some ideas, if you haven't gotten started. I also used to work in corporate, and I know it takes a little bit of a shift to think about small business bookkeeping. So I'm welcome to have a one-on-one dialogue about that, because that is my previous life. I did work in accounting, but in big corporate firms. And Bookkeeping Helpline, that's where you go.
All right. Cindy, tell us about yourself and the kind of help that you provide.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me here. Yes. So my name's Cindy Schrader. I'm the founder of Bookkeeping Buds. So I consider it a community of mentors. It's a group of women who all own a bookkeeping service. And so together we're stronger by helping each other with technical questions, client issues, all sorts of things.
All right. And Jay.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for having me here, Kate. I am Jay Kimmelman. I am the president of High Rock Accounting. I've been with High Rock for about 1.5 years when they acquired my firm, the Digital CPA. And prior to that, I ran a service called Your Digital Practice, which helped work with bookkeepers and accountants to level up their practices with today's technology. So we have that available. And, I love workflow and process automation. So look forward to talking to y'all.
And Jay's our main Xero rep for today. He has a particularly strong knowledge of Xero. Wrote a book on Xero. So when I saw that, I was like, I know that he has the technical chops in Xero. So we want to represent. We want you to get the help you need. So guys, thanks for introducing yourselves. You got a lot of chatter here in the chat. And yes, I see Alicia's here too, and she definitely provides technical mentoring too. She's one of the ones that we will be mentioning for other resources that are out there. If you've got questions, y'all put them in the chat, and I'll field them to our panelists. And I'm going to get started with some questions. And so I only have one screen, y'all, so I'm using my phone for my little script here. So that's why I'm looking down. I want to start with Becky. how does someone know when it's time to work with a bookkeeping mentor or a coach? It seems expensive. I've actually hired some. I'll share my story for who I've hired before in the past. But when do we know it's time to bring someone in versus watching another YouTube tutorial or putting a question in a Facebook group? When should we make this investment?
So that is an amazing question that I think is going to depend on you and your business. So one of the beautiful things about running your own business is that it's very individualized to you. But the kicker, what we're looking for, I think primarily, is when you feel lost. If you feel lost of any sort, any way at all, YouTube is fantastic, and Facebook groups can be great. But when you feel like you just need someone to understand your scenario so that you don't have to pull out little pieces of the YouTube video and see what applies to you, that's whenever you should probably consider looking into having someone in your back pocket, someone on your team that can help you. And I think that's what mentoring is for. When it comes to the technical piece, which is our focus here today, I think when you need to look for someone is whenever you're finding that you're spinning your wheels. You don't want to get stuck in a rut. You don't want to waste a bunch of your time. Your time is very valuable. And there are so many of us who've been there, done that, who can tell you in 10 minutes flat what would take you 4 hours. So when you're just spinning your wheels and you're not sure if you're providing that quality to your clients, that's when you need to start reaching out to someone. And there's so many different options that you can choose from. That would be the kicker.
Awesome. Other three of y'all, do you have anything to add to that question about how to, get your mind around just going ahead and investing in this and moving along?
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with Becky about, any time you can save is huge. And I see a lot of people that, they have the background, they have their accounting degree, maybe they worked for corporate for a long time. And now it's like making that shift into doing your own business. And sometimes, even though you have the knowledge, just talking to somebody else who's been there, it's like, oh yeah, okay, now it makes total sense. Like, you just need somebody to talk to kind of help you get out of your own way. We, as bookkeepers, tend to be in our head a lot more than we should be. And so it just helps to talk about that.
Yeah, I just want to add that, we are good at a lot of things, but we need to look at what we are good at and what we are not good at, and really think about that and let that sit in. And when we're not good at something, either find a resource that is, or hire somebody to get you that skill, because odds are you're going to spend more time doing that than it's actually going to cost you to get the help that you need. And I will say early on, that was a lesson that I had to learn, because I felt I had to do everything. And in the long run, delegate it, learn it from somebody else, get those resources. It exponentially pays off.
So let me jump to, go ahead, Joanna, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say that there are many great courses out there, but once people complete them, they feel like they're in the air. Like, how do I get started? Or I'm afraid to accept that first client because they want a little bit of hand holding. And then a lot of people want to subcontract, but nobody will hire them to subcontract as a bookkeeper because they don't have the experience. And let's be honest, if you're going to hire a 1099 subcontractor, they should be a subject matter expert and not require training, since that falls on the W-2 route. So there's that. And then some folks decide they'll do the books for free for someone to get experience. But why not just start off charging the client, get the help you need that is going to eat into your profits, but you're learning something. You're not going to need a mentor all the time. There's also different budgets of mentors. I'll just put out there that I work in 60-minute segments so that it can make it more affordable. But I do know other mentors have packages that you can buy. So you just maybe a matter of shopping around. I've sought a mentor myself too, Kate. I had a very sticky cleanup, and I've had the same thing. I've had bookkeepers contact me and they're crying, but that tells me they care. They don't want to make a mistake with somebody's books. These small businesses, this is their livelihood. So the fact that we care and you care, that just means everything right there.
Yep. So I want to ask, how, someone said, one of y'all said that maybe you just need something answered in 10 minutes, but we probably can't get 10 minutes of bookkeeping training, right? Like you can't buy a 10-minute block, I'm guessing. So how would someone maybe, like, how do we solve that problem? Do you just kind of pay for the hour anyway? Or is that when you think you might need more of like a group scenario? Maybe like what Cindy offers? This isn't on our script, guys. I'm wanting to know about that, like the 10-minute, I just need the one quick answer. How do we deal with that or chop that up?
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, so in our group setting, we talk to each other through Slack. We're not on social media. And so people jump in and just say, I'm having this problem with this client file, or QuickBooks is acting wonky or something, ask a specific question. And then we have our whole group jumps in and says, oh, I've had this happen to me. This is how I fixed it. And we brainstorm things that way. But I think too, it's really just, our industry is so amazing and the people in it are so giving. So, if you're going to a conference or, just seeing people online, like you definitely want to get connected to any bookkeepers and then have somebody to reach out to, even if it's just a quick question. Doesn't necessarily need to be a mentor.
Okay. Within Pachira Business Solutions, we have it set up so that you purchase a certain amount of time, but you can use it in any increments that you're looking for over a period of time. Okay. So if someone does have a 10-minute question, they can schedule that and it's only 10 minutes. We don't round up on our time because we know that pops up. So whenever those questions come up, we do have Slack options, but we also have a quick screen share option that we just track the exact minutes.
Okay, so you can buy, guys. I was corrected. Glad I asked. Someone in the chat, your name is coming up as Facebook user, is saying that they sell 15-minute blocks. So if you want to put your name in, whoever that was, I'll shout you out. Jay, I'm going to move on to our next question. I'd like for you to field. How would someone determine what kind of mentor they need to work with? Just based on the companies represented here, there's a lot of different flavors of mentoring. So how can I know, like, which of the four of you or the people that we're going to populate on that Google sheet? How do I know who to pick?
Well, there's a couple of different things you want to look at. Number one, what is the specialty that you're trying to get your question answered regarding? Is there somebody specifically a perfect fit for that topic, like Xero or building out Zaps or something along those lines? But the more important thing is, who's the better fit for you? Have the conversation with a number of mentors, and you're going to get more out of it if you build a relationship with your mentor and have a better working relationship. I really think that better fit supersedes the specific needs in a lot of cases, except of course if it's so specific that only one person can answer it. But it's reaching out to Cindy, to me, to Becky, and to Joanna, and anybody else on that list, and who have you built the best rapport with? I think that's the most important thing.
Other panelists, do you have anything to add about that, about how to pick?
Yeah, I think a lot of the people in our industry have different videos and things out there, and we have amazing people that all have the knowledge, like Jay said. So you really just want to maybe check out their free information to see if it's somebody that you can relate to, or that you understand how they're talking to you. Everyone kind of connects differently.
I totally agree with that, and also just the method that they use to coach and mentor you. So some people have more of a group thing where it's like you submit your questions in advance. Some people have here's the area to go to when you're having these sorts of questions. It's a pre-made situation. And then some people have like that live screen share, live meeting, chat versus email. Because there's so many different kinds of learners. And if you're a person who learns best from reading, you want someone who has an extensive library of articles that you can go to. If you're someone who learns best hands-on, you want to be able to tell me what to do and show me if I'm doing it right. So identifying how you best learn then can help you choose the mentor that suits you the best because of their method of teaching.
That's fantastic. I'm going to say, Greg is saying, I can't recommend Becky and Pachira Business Solutions enough. We got hello, Cindy and Joanna. Hi, Jay. Hi, Kate. So we got this chat firing up over here. I'm so glad. So I just want to encourage y'all panelists, in case y'all aren't seeing that. And I want to throw out that we're going to mention her name at the end because I know that Becky had known her, but Rachel Barnett from Gentle Frog was the one that sells 15-minute increments too. So you're already going to check your email, Rachel, because you're going to be on this list because Becky had mentioned that she wants to share your name. So I'm going to move on to my next question. Let's start with Joanna on this one. How does someone best prepare to work with the mentor, right? We're ponied up this money, and now is our time, or now's our time to submit our question, whatever the format is. What do we need to do in advance of meeting with you or other mentors because you said you've hired a mentor. How do you prepare for that? What do you do to get the most out of it?
I like this question. I'll use the example not necessarily from when I hired my mentor, because that was a different relationship. She did help me with the cleanup. I just needed something, needed to know something so I can take it over after the fact. But as for me, most folks that come over, the best advice would be make sure you have everything ready, the reports, access to the POS, the software file, so that they're ready to screen share, because that seems to be a lot of what I do offer. I don't offer any increments for a shorter time than 60 minutes. It's just doesn't make sense to me, cost prohibitive wise, just how I want to offer this, because it takes the time to do the screen sharing and talk through it. And so, just have the reports ready. Try to have the questions written down in advance, because when we're nervous at the time and the clock is ticking, you might forget. So I would say those are the big ones, to just have as much information ready. And also, I think one that I find I get a very weird reaction to is when I tell the person, you actually need to ask the client that question. I can't answer that question. Sometimes they'll come to me and they think, and I can't. Like, I can give you advice on how to approach it, what journal entry, what debit, what credit, but some questions that come to me, they're really like the client's the only one that can answer that. And I think people are scared because they don't want to come across as they don't know enough. And I try to calm them with like, no, this is normal. Like, I would need to ask the client that myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to proceed with helping, perform this task.
Well, Joanna, even that answer, go ask the client, is valuable. That's worth a couple $100, right? Of laying in bed like sick to your stomach, right? That's when those questions gets you. It's not when you're at your computer. It's like, I'm terrible. I can't do this. Like, so that in and of itself is maybe not technical mentoring, but it is definitely a valuable answer. Just someone's chiming in. Joanna's not kidding about making a list of your questions. You think that there's no way I'll forget, and then you're back drawing a blank. I use a talk to text app, either on my phone or even in a Google Doc. There's a microphone, and so just spit your question out, even if it's not pretty. It doesn't need periods and commas. Just like capture whatever you can do best to capture your ideas as when you're in the pits of a mess. But anyone else of y'all want to add to that question about that Joanna just answered about how to prepare, that but y'all see your clients actually like doing best, because y'all have all mentored before? Like, who are the disasters that you want to not be? Maybe share an example like that.
Well, before I jump there, I just want to say along those lines, any meeting you're going to have a written agenda so you don't forget anything.
But you come with the agenda, the purchaser, not Jay, not Becky. They're not making the agenda, y'all.
Exactly. You got to do that. And whether it's an internal meeting or mentoring, you want to know what you got to cover so you don't forget it. But in that case, I've dealt with lots of, not just bookkeepers or accountants, clients that they're all over the place. And the best thing you can do is send them like an email a day in advance and say, please be ready, have your question, give them a list of things that you want, that you anticipate, so that we always say, write down your questions and have all this ready, because a lot of times they're not even thinking about that. They just want to jump on the call because they're really excited to get on there, and they're not even thinking about how to prepare for it.
Okay.
I have a question for those that, if somebody is just starting out, like you were saying, Becky and Joanna, where they might not know what questions to ask. Like, what do you advise for that? As far as if they're working with somebody, they don't know what questions to have ready for you because they don't even know where to start.
So something that we've put in place for that, our vision is to reduce stress, right? Running your own business is so stressful. And then when you need the technical knowledge on top of running a business, it's even more stressful. So we don't require any sort of prep from our people. Yes, you're going to get the most out of it if you send us a list of questions in advance. but you don't have to. There are definitely people out there who will coach you through what you need. Like, this is where I'm at. I don't know. That's fine. Don't stress about it. You don't have to send us anything. We will go ahead and like walk you through what you need. And then we'll cut it short. Like if it's a 20-minute thing and you scheduled for an hour and we're not going to be productive, we'll say, hey, let's revisit this. Here's your action items. This is what you need to do to prep yourself so that you can actually get something useful out of this. And we'll meet and talk back later. So especially for those people who are brand new, who genuinely have no idea what their questions even are, and they're just super overwhelmed, there are people who will walk you through that. You don't even need to stress about it.
I'll say sometimes some folks are just so new, they just don't even know how to talk to a prospect or the onboarding process. I'm not going to say I'm an expert in onboarding, but I could provide a framework like, okay, did you get this information? Did you get that? And that kind of minimizes that stress that Becky was talking about, just coming up with a little game plan.
Again,
go ahead, Jay.
Bring this back to the clients. They don't know what they don't know, and somebody new in bookkeeping doesn't know what they don't know. So, ask the questions. I mean, even if it's just general, and then, like I think Becky said, cut it down to 20 minutes, and then use the rest of the time on another call, and come back and think about what we discussed, and then come back and have a new list to cover in that second meeting.
Or get the info from the client and then come back, because you don't have any of the things that you actually need for us to do this right now. So it's okay. And even just like, the asking the client questions is super intimidating, but asking a CPA questions is even more intimidating. And so we oftentimes will get clients who are like, the CPA told me this and I don't know what it means. It's like, that's because they didn't give you everything that you actually needed, and it's not your fault. It's on them. But, identifying that, taking a pause and coming back around whenever there's a little bit more organization would be really helpful.
Well, hopefully not all of us CPAs are that off.
Terrible. They're just those J guys. They're just, No, but I know what you mean, Becky, especially that first conversation with the CPA, if you've got to bring someone in or, yeah. So, I think that's great advice. I'm going to move us along. Again, the goal of this, if anyone's missed the beginning, is to download the Google Sheet, or not download, you just open it. There's a Google Sheet of everyone's contact information, and we're populating it with more top-notch technical mentors. So the goal is that. So the conversation's great, but we're going to keep moving along. I want to ask one more question. Cindy, let's start with you. How does someone know when their work with the mentor is done?
Is it ever done? No.
Okay, well, with that particular mentor, maybe maybe it's time to change mentors.
For a technical one, you may need, as your business is growing, you may decide to niche into a certain area like POS or, attorneys or something like that. And then you would want to get a mentor that's specific to that type of technical information that you need. But yeah, I think we always need a mentor.
Okay.
I'll chime in to say, I think expand your list of mentors for when you have those needs. And I like what Kate is doing here, because I'm one who will block off my calendar for a whole month and I cannot be reached. So imagine if you're in a scenario where you're like, I need help. I have this client scenario. It's good to know Becky's available, Jay's available, Cindy's available.
Yeah.
So don't just have one person on your list. And that's what the community is about. We're here. There's enough for everybody. Let's help each other. Let's be there. There's family emergencies. Everything happens.
Absolutely.
To piggyback off of that, when we start in our bookkeeping business and we're brand new, we need something totally different than when we have 12 clients. And then we need something totally different than when we have 30 clients. So there's mentors who can help with hiring, identifying SOPs so that you can get in a place where you're organized, that you can delegate or outsource. There's people who help with those workflows and building out, streamlining in your software. There's different needs as you build your business and as you grow that different people are going to help with. So you might not need technical mentoring whenever you find that you're answering the questions of other people in the group. That might be when you're done with that particular mentoring section. But that doesn't mean that then you can't move forward with mentors who are going to help with other aspects of growing your business. The bad news is it's never over. Like we're always growing, we're always learning, we're always adding things. But the good news is there's mentors that can help with all of those different stages.
Yeah, and I think what Becky's talking about there is an accountability partner. And I think that is important when you're running a business and building a business. And in my case, I always had my wife, but she didn't quite understand everything that we were trying to do. So I always reached out to somebody in the industry.
Mhm.
And having that person holding me accountable helped me get better at what I was doing. And now I want to do that and help others as well. So it comes full circle.
In our community, we have women that are all on different journeys, people just starting out all the way to have been in business, for 15, 20 years. So we have the whole gamut of people to help you in our Bookkeeping Buds community.
All right. Well, so we've asked my questions. So the criteria for when I asked these 4 people to be on it, I said, but here's the catch. I think there's more than enough business to go around. So I want you to each share 2 other people who, like, your competitors, basically. But they're not competitors, because, like, most of these people knew each other, and we're all friendly and we all want to help. And like Joanna said, sometimes Becky might, not have an opening for the day you need it, so you need someone else. So we're going to share more names, and they are, some of these names might know, some of these names I have not heard of, but I'm going to go around the circle here. And Becky, can you share at least 2 names of folks that we will get added to this Google Sheet? So don't worry about sharing like the technical contact details. We will get that for y'all, because this is an evergreen video. But go ahead, and Becky, and let's broaden our list.
So many of you may have heard of Veronica Wasek. She is a YouTube aficionado for 5-minute bookkeeping. She's awesome. She does provide technical mentoring that I'm aware of. And then also Rachel Barnett, who mentioned in the comments, she has Gentle Frog and she specializes in QuickBooks Online. So she's another person that I know of that does the technical aspect of mentoring.
I've met both of those people. I feel like I'm in good company. That's really great. Joanna, what about you?
I recommend Valeria Armstrong. She specializes in cleanup projects. So the stickier, the hairier they are, she is great. And disclose, or I don't know how do you say that, but she was actually the one that I sought mentorship from myself. So I know she's a cleanup guru. Also, Judah Koski, I'm mentioning him because he's a Zero guy like Jay. And I think there's so many more mentors out there familiar with QuickBooks. It's important that there's more people out there that are familiar with the Zero platform as well. He also does a cryptocurrency mentorship for anyone who may have clients in that arena.
We all need crypto tutoring, that's for sure. All right, Cindy, what about you?
So there's so many to choose from, but I'm picking Seth David of Nerd Enterprises. He has a wonderful newsletter that comes out every Sunday. So after you read Kate's newsletter on Saturday, read his on Sunday. And then he has a ton of YouTube videos, a ton of courses. He's just really a great technical person. And then my second one is Alicia Katz-Pollock from Royal Wise Training, who has tons of training. And she also has a book that came out recently, Master Intuit QuickBooks Online, that you can get on Amazon. So yeah, those are both great sources for you.
Fantastic. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm going to start with Christy Monahan, who works for me at High Rock. When I found out I was going to be working, she was going to be working for me, I was like fangirling, because we've known each other through the Facebook worlds and these shows forever. And we finally got to meet each other, and she's just phenomenal. And I can't say enough about her and what she can do. And I rest easy every night knowing that she's running the tech team for my company. And the other is Accountants Law Lab. That it would be Linda Artisani and Sarah Prevost. And they are well situated in the legal field, legal accounting.
Yeah, it's a good example of someone who brings like a niche perspective. Sometimes you might need that niche. I know, like Veronica, she would be the person I would call if I needed Shopify work too. So like there's lots of that, y'all. You can think of someone who specializes in like an app as well. I am just looking. I wanted to name a couple. Tanya Schulte is from the Profit Constructors. She is like a construction with like job costing and job profitability. And then I'll say I've paid Seth David money for looking at my screen. So I can vouch for him. And there's also, I'll throw out a woman named Deb Bradshaw has helped me. She's just now building a program, but I wanted to specifically mention her because she knows her stuff in QuickBooks Online, and has helped me. And so there's probably going to be more names on that Google Sheet, y'all. That is going to be in the description of this video. But this is a great start for you to have an email to send, or there's going to have a contact form for all these people that you can say, I need your help. There's different ways, all from more of a group style with Cindy, the segments that you buy where you like allocate time like Becky, and everything in between. So I think I'm going to wrap us up. I'm looking to see if there's any specific questions that I think need to be answered. Someone asked about the cost. Y'all, there's a variety of costs. So you just use the sheet, find out it's probably more expensive than you're thinking, but also more like when you think of it as a return on investment and the fact that you'll be able to keep that client for 3, 4, 5 years, it's a drop in the bucket. And you'll take that knowledge and use it on 10 more clients. Like, don't forget about that aspect, right? Like, then you just got to go repeat the one, you pay your money to go repeat it over and over and over every month, right? Because you now know what you're doing. So you know what? I'm going to throw my name in here. I'm going to tutor in FreshBooks. So that's going to be late. I don't know. This wasn't about self-promoting, but I want to get another GL out there, and there's not a lot of people doing it. So if you need FreshBooks help, I don't have a formal program yet, but I can help one-on-one for sure. So I think that's it. I'm going to wrap us up. I hope this was helpful to y'all listeners. Please reach out to the folks on this panel, connect with them on social media. In the Google Sheet, they have put their preferred place to find them on social. That'll be a great way to get to know them, the kind of content, the kind of expertise, the kind of personality they have. So thanks for y'all being here, and thanks for everyone watching live. And I hope this video is helpful many years in the future. And I'm going to wrap up the broadcast. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.